between professional excellence and spiritual depth. A mechanical engineer by training, Prabhuji graduated in 2000 and spent several years in corporate sector with Tech Mahindra. In 2005, he chose to transition from his engineering career to embrace a life of full-time service here at the Sri Radha Gopinath Temple. Today, he serves as a vital member of the Temple Council and the Ashram Consular Board. His leadership extends to overseeing the Vedic Training Academy and the Bhaktivedanta Academy for Culture and Education alongside his responsibilities at ISKCON Baramati. With over 2 decades of experience in mentoring both youth and professionals, he brings a practical, balanced, and deeply realized perspective to his teachings. Let us welcome Prabhuji with open hearts and eagerness to receive his uplifting insights on the wonderful topic of gratitude, attitude that changes your altitude. Thank you so much. It's such a beautiful topic, and thank you, Prabhuji, for joining us and giving us opportunity to listen to you. I'm really grateful to you. Hare Krishna. Over to you, Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा। बिफोर आई बिगिन जस्ट एक बताइए कि कितने समय का सेशन है ये?
Prabhuji, it's all 1 hour, and we can extend a little bit for question answers. If you have some time on your hands, that would be great.
श्योर,
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
थैंक यू। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। तो सभी उपस्थित भक्तों के प्रति मैं अपनी कृतज्ञता व्यक्त करना चाहता हूँ कि आप सब एक साथ आज ऑनलाइन माध्यम से आए हैं और कृतज्ञता इस विषय पे कुछ सुनना चाहते हैं। आज का जो जमाना है वो कृतज्ञता, सादगी, नम्रता इन विषयों पे कदापि सुनना नहीं चाहता है, बल्कि उनको तो घृणा है इन शब्दों से। लेकिन फिर भी आप सब यहाँ पे उपस्थित हैं इस विषय पे सुनने के लिए, तो मैं आप सबके प्रति बहुत बहुत आभारी हूँ और मैं कुछ विचार आपके सामने प्रस्तुत करने की कोशिश करूंगा। एक
Hare Krishna.
दुकान
Hare
या
Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Sorry
यस
to interrupt you, Prabhuji. But this session is today in English, Prabhuji. Usually
ओके
we have Nitya Bhagavatam in
या
Hindi.
नो
This
प्रॉब्लम नो प्रॉब्लम।
this one is for English, Prabhuji. Thank you. I'm so sorry.
थैंक
Hare
यू
Krishna.
थैंक यू थैंक यू सॉरी
Hare
थैंक यू
Krishna.
या। So there was one shopkeeper, and one day he was observing something. One very beautiful dog walked into his shop, and his dog had a bag in his mouth. And the shopkeeper was really very intrigued. So he looked inside the bag. Inside the bag was some cash. And also there was a paper on which there was a list of items mentioned. So then he understood what he has to do. So he took all the items, he took that cash, and whatever was the change, he put it in that bag. And the dog seemed to understand what was happening. And then the dog left the shop. And as he's going, the shopkeeper felt this is really very interesting. This dog understands what is cash. This dog understands the bag. The dog walked into the shop. He knows where to stand. So I want to follow this dog. So he followed this dog. This very interesting dog went to a bus stop and he stopped at the bus stop. And some bus came there. And this dog looked at the bus and stayed behind. Another bus came. He looked at the number of the bus and he preferred to stay behind. A third bus came. He looked at the number. He seemed to read the number. He went ahead. And when the bus stopped, he climbed into the bus and went on the side. And then the bus conductor came there. So this time the dog, he raised his head like this. And in this collar of the dog, there was an address written on a piece of paper, and there was also a little bit money there. Some small cash was there. And this bus conductor is wondering what is going on. He took that cash. That cash was exactly equal to the bus ticket. And this person took the ticket, put it in that collar here of the dog, and the dog was really happy. At the right time, when that area came, the dog went to the door to get down. Previously, for all the other stations, he did not go to the door. And this whole thing is being watched by the shopkeeper. So at the bus stop, the bus stopped, the dog got down without any hesitation, without any confusion. He went to one building, he climbed 2 floors of the building, and then there was a door there. And then on the door of that home, he started hitting the door, making a sound like this. Please open up. And after 5 minutes, somebody came from inside, and this person had a stick. And the stick he took and he started beating the dog. So the shopkeeper is observing all this, and the shopkeeper is saying, this is like a very special dog, an intelligent dog. And this shopkeeper is asking the person, why are you beating this dog? He brought grocery for you, he climbed the bus properly, he did not waste any money, and he's really such a special dog. The person from inside said, actually, he should have taken the keys. I was sleeping inside and he woke me up from sleep. So all of us can understand this person who owns this dog is really an ungrateful person. So all of us in our life have seen some people at least who are really, really ungrateful. No matter what you do, they will always find faults with you. I'll give you another story. This story is about Lord Vishnu, and this story is found in the Puranas. There was one old temple of Lord Vishnu, and in this temple, at night time, whatever lamp was lit in the morning, whatever oil was there in that lamp, it was getting extinguished and the lamp was burning out. Now, in a matter of few minutes, the lamp will burn out. Anyway, the temple is closed. This is maybe 11 o'clock at night. So, all of us know when an oil lamp is lit and when the oil is about to get extinguished, then the lamp will start flickering. The flame will start flickering, is it not? So, similarly, this flame was flickering. And in this temple of Lord Vishnu, there was one mouse that day. And this mouse was looking around for something to eat. Already it is late night, so there is nobody else in the temple. And as he was looking around, his eyes got attracted to this flame of the lamp that was flickering. He thought it is something interesting there. And the mouse went there. Now, all of us are also aware that the mouse has some hair that come out from this part, the part between the nose and the mouth. And in English, it's called whiskers. So when the mouse went close to the flame, he thought it is something attractive to eat. But the whiskers, the hair of the mouse, they caught fire from the lamp. And what happened? It started burning. And because it started burning, it was hurting him. So he started jumping in pain. So the lamp got extinguished, but his whiskers caught fire and he was jumping in the air like this. So in a matter of maybe 1 minute or so after that, this mouse died because of the pain. But the interesting part is the Puran in which the story is mentioned. It mentions that this mouse went to Vaikuntha. So why did this mouse go to Vaikuntha? Actually, he went there searching for food, but because his whiskers caught fire and he was jumping, it looked like an arti. When he was jumping like this, the flames of his whiskers, they appeared like a new lamp that was lit. The original lamp was extinguished, and then there was an arti. So Lord Vishnu felt this mouse is such a special mouse. He wants to do arti to me, and so he needs to go to Vaikuntha. So another story that I remember is the story of Banasur. It is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam that Banasur was a great devotee of Lord Shiva and he received 1000 arms. And with his 1000 arms, initially he would play the drum and Lord Shiva would dance. So he did some seva for Lord Shiva. And as we all know, pride very soon comes to those who are powerful. So this Banasur, he would go around punching trees, punching mountains, and doing his display of power. But one day he went to Lord Shiva, and you know what he said to Lord Shiva? He said, with these strong arms, I am not finding a suitable match. And in this whole world, the only suitable person I can find to match my strength is you. So can I fight with you? Who gave him the strength? Lord Shiva. And he is in his own pride, he's going to Lord Shiva. So what did Lord Shiva do? Lord Shiva destroys this entire universe. So Banasur was not a big thing for him. But Lord Shiva told him, very soon you will meet somebody who is a match for your strength. Who was that person? That was Lord Krishna. So why did Lord Shiva not fight with Banasur, even though he's such an arrogant person? Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati told the story of Punar Mushika Bhava. Punar Mushika Bhava means this mouse went to a rishi and he said, some cat is running after me. Can you help me? The rishi said, oh, you become a cat. He became a cat. Then after some time, he came to the rishi and he said, oh, this dog is running after me. Can you help me? What do you want? So make me a dog. Okay, you become a dog. He became a dog. After some time, this dog came to the rishi and he said, oh, please, this lion is running after me. Can you please help me? And he said, yes, you become a lion. But as soon as he became a lion, this lion started looking at the rishi like this. And the rishi asked, what happened? He said, no, I'm feeling hunger and I'm thinking that you are an easy prey. You will not have strength to run away. So this rishi said, Punar Mushika Bhava. Punar Mushika Bhava means again become a mouse. You fool, I am the one who is trying to help you and you are trying to look at me in this way. So similarly, Banasur is also like that. Lord Shiva blessed him with so much strength and now he is telling Lord Shiva, you are a fit person to fight with me. But look at Lord Shiva. The Acharyas mention Lord Shiva did not fight with Banasur because he would have finished Banasur. But Lord Shiva did not want to finish him because Lord Shiva was really grateful for all the service of playing the Damru that Banasur had done and when Lord Shiva was dancing. So on one side we see this person who owns a dog and is supremely ungrateful. And on another side we see Lord Vishnu who is supremely grateful for something that was not even done with the right intention. Putana came to kill Krishna, but Krishna looked at the action. Krishna did not look at the intention. Lord Vishnu did not look at the intention. Lord Vishnu looked at the action. And what was the shopkeeper doing? The dog owner was doing. The dog owner was actually not looking at the action, and he was thinking, why this dog is not taking the keys. So this is the difference that we mostly find in this world. It's very, very rare to find somebody who is grateful, but gratitude is something that is like the mother of all good qualities. So we'll quickly discuss. All of us have seen two kinds of people in this world. There are people who have everything, but they always keep crying. And there are always people in this world whom we must have met who have nothing, but they are always smiling and they are always going ahead with life. Which attitude do you feel is better? You have everything, but you keep crying. Almost 15 to 20 years back, as was mentioned, I was working in a company, an IT company, Tech Mahindra. So at that time, I was very much interested in understanding the news in the IT industry. So that time, the richest person on the planet was Bill Gates, the owner of Microsoft. And in one interview, he was asked, after being the richest person on earth, do you also want something? And Bill Gates said, more. I want more. So he's already the richest, but he's thinking he wants more. So on one side is this person who wants more, who wants more. Right now, we are seeing a war in a part of the world where actually the country which is attacking has not much to do there. But all of us are aware that actually more than any crime that this country has done, it's more about greed. So greed is something that can make you cross your boundaries of gentlemanliness, whereas gratitude is something that will always keep you within the boundaries of gentlemanliness. Greed is basically like a fire that can never be cooled, and gratitude is like ice that can never be heated. So a person who is grateful can never become agitated, and a person who is greedy will never ever become satisfied. Actually, greed teaches you to focus on what is not there in your life, and gratitude teaches you to focus on what is there in your life. So, the most important word for those affected by greed is more, and the most important word for those affected with gratitude is enough. So think about it. Which attitude is better, greed or gratitude? Greed is many times triggered by the situation around you, the things around you, whereas gratitude is many times triggered by the disposition of the people around you, the mood of people around you. So, although you may not have much, but if you are surrounded by grateful people, if you're surrounded by happy people, then I have enough to eat, I have enough to sleep, I have enough for everything. I am not dying hungry. Whereas greedy people, when they see some things that belong to somebody else, then they think, I want this car, I want this, I want always asantushtaha. Actually, in the 11th canto, there is one shloka where I think it is Narad Muni speaking to Vasudev. So there in one of the shlokas is mentions Daridraha Yaha to Asantushtaha. Who is Daridra? Who is a poor person? According to Narad Muni, that person is Daridra who is Asantushtaha. So somebody may be very rich, but if he's Asantushtaha, then according to Narad Muni, he is Daridra. Actually, there is one story. There was one king who was very, very popular, who was very rich, who was very successful, but also he was very greedy. And every 6 months, because he had a lot of power, because he had a big army, he would go out and wage a war with some another neighboring kingdom. And one time he met a sadhu, so he took out some rings from his fingers and said, Sadhu, come here, I want to give you something. And the sadhu said, actually, I don't need this ring, but probably this ring should be given to somebody who is more poorer than me. मेरे से ज्यादा गरीब है एक व्यक्ति, उसको देना चाहिए. So the king asked, कौन है वो गरीब? And he said, actually, this person, he keeps on attacking other people and keeps on grabbing their wealth more and more. So he said, Acha, who is this person? You tell me. And the sadhu, he said, the name of the king. And the name of the king was that king only. He's standing there. He said, how can you say I'm poor? He said, see, what is poverty? Poverty is not determined by the number. Poverty is determined by, are you satisfied? So he said, I never attack anybody. I never steal money from anybody. I never look at the wallet of somebody and look at you. You are staying in a big palace, but you keep attacking neighboring kingdoms and you keep snatching money and you keep snatching wealth. So actually, I think you are in more need of money. So you keep this ring with yourself. So this is how actually greed is very dangerous. No matter what we have, greed will always keep us unsatisfied, whereas gratitude will always keep us happy and peaceful. Actually, greed is something that makes us believe that the individual is more important than the community. When we stay in a family, when we stay in a community, greed will make your needs more important than the family's needs. अरे दूसरों को क्या लगता है छोड़ो, first most important thing is my need. Gratitude is something that always prioritizes the community's needs over my need. See, everyone is happy, so why should I suffer so much? Why should I become so much greedy like that? So, how can this happen that somebody is extremely rich, but he is always unsatisfied? Somebody may not be so rich, but he's always satisfied. How is it possible? See, all of us are aware of our digestive system. Actually, what we eat will determine how much energy we have. If we are eating poor, nutritious food, then we'll always feel diseased, we'll always feel exhausted, is it not? So, what goes inside will determine what comes out in the form of our energy. The mind is also something like a digestive system. What goes inside the mind in terms of the emotions, in terms of our feelings, is what the mind digests, right? So, if you're always thinking, I need more, then that is what comes out. But if you think, no, no, I have sufficient. Yes, I can get more, but it's not something that I need to lose my sleep over it. So, this is the difference basically between greed and gratitude. We'll go ahead. I'll take two examples. These are two personalities who are roughly of the same type. One person is Kamsa. He is a big king. He's a very powerful person. When Kamsa was ruling, then many people in his kingdom, out of the atrocities of Kamsa, they actually left Bharatvarsha and they scattered all over around Bharatvarsha. And another person whom we are going to compare with is Parikshit. So Parikshit was also a powerful king, and Parikshit also drove out somebody from his kingdom. Kamsa drove out all the gentlemanly people from his kingdom because of his atrocities and his cruel behavior. Parikshit did not drive out gentlemanly people. Parikshit drove out Kali personified. One day, when Parikshit was moving around in a hidden way, trying to understand what is the situation in his kingdom, he came across a person who looked like he's a Kshatriya, but he was attacking a cow. And as soon as Parikshit said, how can a bona fide Kshatriya attack a cow? This must not be a bona fide Kshatriya. He took out his sword, put it on that person, and said, tell me in reality who you are. And he gave up his robes and he said, actually, I am not a Kshatriya. I am Kali personified. And that's why I'm hurting this cow. So, in one sense, both are kings. He drove out gentlemanly people. He also drove out Kali personified. So, both are very powerful. But Kamsa, he is a shameless person because he wanted to kill his own sister in front of everyone just to make sure that he does not die. And why? Why did he do that? There was an Akashwani. The Akashwani said, "Oh Kamsa, you fool! The eighth child of your sister will be responsible for your death." And 2 minutes back, Kamsa was actually showing his affection for his sister by driving the chariot with his own hands. So abhi prem dikha rahe the, and as soon as there was an Akashwani, there was his voice from the sky. He took out a sword and very shamelessly is trying to cut the throat of his own sister. What about Parikshit? Parikshit is somebody who also committed a mistake. What was his mistake? He was extremely exhausted. He was extremely thirsty. And he went to the ashram of Shamik Rishi. And Shamik Rishi was in deep tapasya, in deep internal samadhi kind of a situation. And he said, can I get some water? And Shamik Rishi did not even welcome the king. Shamik Rishi did not even offer him water. So Parikshit, because he's extremely exhausted, he is behaving like that out of a natural situation. It's not out of fear like Kamsa. But he felt, oh, nobody welcomed me, nobody even gave me water. So he took a dead snake, and that dead snake he put around Shamik Rishi's body. And this news went to Shamik Rishi's son. So he's a 7-year-old boy, and the 7-year-old boy was very powerful, but he did not have Vivek Buddhi. He did not have discrimination. So as soon as some friend told him, Arey, do you know Shringi, what happened? Your father was insulted by the great King Parikshit. This Shringi, he did not even check. He did not even think Parikshit is that great person who drove out Kali, who threatened Kali. Let me just check what is the situation. He came in a situation of revenge. He had that mood. A 7-year-old boy without discrimination. He pronounced a curse. He said, "This Parikshit, he will die in 7 days." So Kamsa is a king, Parikshit is a king, Kamsa is powerful, Parikshit is powerful. Kamsa drove out gentlemanly people, Parikshit drove out Kali. He is a shameless person who's trying to kill his sister. And Parikshit, out of a natural situation of extreme exhaustion, extreme hunger, and no respect for somebody as great as Parikshit, he just put a dead snake. He did not insult Shamik Rishi. He did not hurt Shamik Rishi. He did not curse Shamik Rishi. He never did anything like that. And when this boy is cursing Parikshit, he did not send his army to destroy the whole village of Shamik Rishi. Sometimes when a powerful person is insulted, what does he do? Khatam kar do sabko. But Parikshit did not do that. So what happened? Kamsa has received an Akashwani for his death. Eighth son. So eighth son means कम से कम 8 साल तो लगेंगे उसको जन्म लेने के लिए. So when the Akashwani was made, Kamsa had minimum 8 years to live. Of course, we know Krishna, he went to Mathura when he was 11 and a half years. So that means the real amount of time that Kamsa got from the time of his Akashvani is something like 19 to 19 and a half years. Think about it. And Parikshit, when the curse was told how much time he had, 7 days. Now you compare these people. Here is a rogue, here is a ruffian, here is a gunda, but he got 19 years advance notice for his death. And Parikshit is such a powerful person. He's a Rajarshi. He is the grandson of Arjun. He is the son of Abhimanyu, but he got cursed to die in 7 days. Now, if you are a good king, you drove out Kali, you got cursed by 7-year-old inexperienced boy who does not have Viveka Buddhi, and he curses you to die in 7 days. What happens to you? Actually, he had every reason to become filled with revenge. But you know what Parikshit is thinking? It's a very sweet mood that Parikshit has. Parikshit says, I think I was too much attached to my position. I think I was too much attached to my powerful position as a king. And actually, my grandfather, the Pandavas, specifically Arjun, was so close to Krishna that actually Krishna saved me from the Brahmastra of Ashwatthama when I was like a tiny child in my mother's womb. That Krishna who loved my grandfathers, and that Krishna who saved me when I was a small child, when I did not even do any bhakti for him, that Krishna, will he be my enemy? So, you know what? Krishna is always my well wisher. And today, in this situation, when I see that I have been cursed by this small, young, inexperienced boy, I think it is Krishna who is trying to help me to get detached from all my attachments to my wealth, to my position, to my treasury, to my name, and to my fame. And he wants to make sure that I go back to Vaikuntha. Krishna is my friend, he can never be my enemy. And he gives up all his royal clothes, and he has so much faith in Krishna that he goes to the banks of Ganges. Even today, that place is there. It is called Shuktal. It is near Meerut, Muzaffarnagar. So that Shuktal is there, and he went to Shuktal near the banks of Ganges because he knows Ganga is a very pure river. And that time, Lord Krishna, who is the Paramatma in the heart of every living entity, he's also the Paramatma in Shukdev Goswami. Shukdev Goswami is the son of Vyasa Rishi. He inspired Shukdev from his heart and said, this great devotee of mine, Parikshit, is such a nice person, and somehow he has been cursed, but he does not have any revenge mentality. So can you please go and share the Srimad Bhagavatam with him? And Shukdev Goswami comes there. This news goes all over the universe, and sages from all over the universe, Gautam Rishi, Vashishta Rishi, Vishwamitra Rishi, Asita Rishi, Devala Rishi, so all these great rishis, they are all there. Grita Samada Rishi, all these names are there in the Bhagavatam, and all these rishis come there because they know a great king like Parikshit is about to die, and Shukdev Goswami, the son of Vyas Rishi, has come there. And now, in 7 days, Parikshit wants to ask questions to Shukdev Goswami about what is the purpose of life. This conversation is very, very special conversation. We want to listen to this. Today there is this concept of podcast. Some special person is interviewed, and somebody who's interviewing is also a very special person. And वो बातें रंग जाती है. इट्स अ वेरी नाइस कन्वर्सेशन. फिर आपने ऐसे क्यों किया, फिर आपको ऐसे क्यों लगा, फिर ऐसे हुआ होगा, वैसे दैट कन्वर्सेशन इज सो जूसी. देयर इज सो मच टू लर्न फ्रॉम दैट. So all these people felt Shukdev Goswami is such a great soul. Parikshit is such a great soul. And when this podcast happens between them, it's going to be a very interesting situation. So we need to go there. And when Parikshit goes there, Parikshit sees Shukdev Goswami has come there. All these great sages from all over the universe has come there. You know what is Parikshit's words? The first words that Parikshit utters is Aho vayam dhanyatama nripanam mahattamanugrahaniya shila Ragyah kulam brahmana pada shaucham duram visrishtat batakarya karmam. So he says, Aho, Aho, what a wonder! Aho Vayam Dhanyatama Nripanam. I think I am the most fortunate king. धन्यतमा, सब राजाओं में मैं सबसे बड़ा धन्य व्यक्ति हूं. अरे बाबा, you have been cursed to die in 7 days. But he says, Aho vayam dhanyatama nripanam. Why am I dhanyatama? Why am the most fortunate person? Because he says, Mahattamanugrahaniya Shila. He says, because we have been trained by our elders to be grateful. My grandfather always taught me you should be grateful. My father, my mother, my grandmother Subhadra, they were always teaching me Krishna is your friend. Whatever happens in your life is for your benefit. Always you should be grateful. And I have been trained by my seniors to be grateful. What a big fortune I have. Why? Why am I saying like that? Well, he says, Ragyah kulam brahmana shaucham. Actually, when kings are there, then these big sages and these big brahmanas, na, they stay away from kings. Just like pada shaucham. When we wash our feet with water, that water do we keep near us? That water is sent into the sewage. So he says, actually, great sages who are on the path of self-realization, they never come close to materialistic kings. But look at me. I have been cursed. And thousands of sadhus who are on the path of self realization have come here. What a big fortune. So I am so fortunate that Krishna has arranged for me such a situation. Can you imagine a good king being cursed by a small boy to die in 7 days? And this king is saying, I'm the most fortunate king born on this planet. Why? Because he is so grateful for all the teachings that he has received from his elders. What about Kamsa? Minimum 8 years to live, not 7 days. But in these 8 years, he lived in so much fear. You know why? Because he was greedy. He had killed people. He had sent people away, snatching their property. And all his life, he lived in fear. It is mentioned in the Bhagavatam that when the curtains would move in Kamsa's palace, then he would think, oh, is there somebody there who is about to kill me? And right from day one, hmm, he lived in fear. In fact, out of fear, he even killed the first six children of Devaki. Actually, it was very clearly mentioned the eighth child of Devaki will kill you. So, what is the harm with the six children? But Kamsa is so much in greed, Kamsa is so much in fear that he killed even the six children of Devaki. So here we can see how greed is motivating people to fall below in their character, and how gratitude is actually elevating somebody with whom actually in one sense there's a lot of injustice that happened to Parikshit, but in his own heart he's such a grateful person, he's such a thankful person, and for such a grateful and thankful person the Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken. And because Parikshit received Srimad Bhagavatam, all of us today are enjoying Srimad Bhagavatam that actually gives us Krishna Katha. See, Ramayana gives Ram Katha. Similarly, which is that book which gives Krishna Katha? Actually, it is Srimad Bhagavatam, and that came out just because of the gratitude of Parikshit Maharaj. We'll quickly go through some more effects of gratitude. So, there are two kinds of effects of gratitude. One is the individual effects. First thing is, if you are a grateful person, it becomes very easy to recognize the contribution of others in your life. If somebody has done something good for you, if you're grateful, it becomes very easy to recognize it. Second point, it's very easy to reciprocate with those people who have made a contribution in your life. Third thing is, because you are very grateful and you see the good part in everything, it gives you a lot of strength to go through the challenges of life. The fourth point is, because you know so many people have contributed in your life and you are not the only person who's contributed in your life, it's very difficult for you to become proud. It's very rare that a grateful person is very proud. So, what happens to somebody who is a very grateful person? He cannot have pride. And also, gratitude and envy, they go ill together. You cannot be envious also. I'll tell you why. See, a grateful person is always counting the blessings that he has received in his life. Most people in this world today are busy at counting the curses that they have received. Curses, actually there are no curses, but sometimes we feel, अरे मेरे साथ ये बुरा हो गया, I got less marks in the exam, or somebody is not talking to me, I ended up having a fight with my good friend. So these are things that hurt us, these are things that pain us, and these are the things that I'm referring to as curses. So most of us are always morose in life because we are busy counting the curses in our life. What things went wrong in our life, we are counting them. But actually, those who are grateful, they don't count the curses. Actually, those who are grateful, they count the blessings in their life. How many people have helped me in so many ways? Hmm. One person, he stood first in the graduation exam, and he stood first in university. So when he was asked in a TV interview, he was asked, you stood first in the university, so who's responsible for your great success? So usually, students, they say mother, father, teacher, right? So he said, yes, my teachers are responsible, my mother is responsible, my father is responsible. And then he said, the bus conductor is also responsible. So bus conductor, how? He said, every day I would board the bus, and as soon as I boarded the bus, then the bus conductor would say, "Chalo, आगे बढ़ो, चलो आगे बढ़ो, आगे चलते रहो." So I am really, really very grateful to the bus conductor who always told me, please move ahead, please move ahead. And that helped me, always move ahead in life. So this person who is such a grateful person is able to identify the contribution of the bus conductor in his life, right? There's a very nice story. I'll share this story. There was this Air Force pilot, and he went on a war mission, and he successfully, he shot down a few planes, and then he returned to his Air Force base. The war ended, and everyone was glorifying this Air Force pilot. Oh, you're such a brave person. You went and you shot down a few planes, and then you returned back. And yes, he was really happy about it. And then he was having, in the officer mess, he was having his breakfast. So that time there was one ordinary person who was also sitting there. He was not an Air Force pilot, but he was also sitting there. And he said, are you Captain Vikram? So he said, yes. Why so? So, do you want to congratulate me for my successful flight? He said, yes, I'm so happy that you did your successful flight. But I also wanted to tell you, actually, I am the person who packs the parachutes on all these planes. And I am the person who packed the parachute in your plane. And then this person just went off. He did not have a big post like a captain. And then he moved ahead. And this Captain Vikram, who was receiving so much glorification, and this Captain Vikram was receiving so much awards and all that, he began thinking, actually, the courage for me, yes, to fly into the sky and to go into, the enemy territory, and then to shoot a few planes and then return back. Actually, yes, it's based on my skills to fly that plane, but also I was assured that there is a parachute in my plane. And if something goes wrong, if I get shot, then I can press the eject button and I can get ejected from the plane and I can land and I'll be alive. So I'll just ask you a simple question and you can think about it in your own mind. When you drive a car or when you drive a bike, and you're increasing the speed, are the brakes contributing to your comfort factor when you are increasing the speed of your bike or your car? So many of us will feel, Prabhuji, brakes stop the car, brakes stop the bike, brakes stop the scooter. Actually, it is the accelerator that takes the car ahead. But I'll tell you something. If you are not comfortable, if you're not confident about the brakes, you will not accelerate. Because you're thinking ब्रेक नहीं लगेंगे तो accident हो जाएगा. You will travel only at 10 kilometers per hour. But if I tell you the brakes have been replaced just yesterday, you have got fresh new brakes in your car, you can zoom to 120 kilometers per hour. अरे brakes है ना, रुक जाएंगे. Similarly, my dear friends, yes, the Air Force pilot has a lot of skills to fly, but somewhere at the back of his mind he knows the parachute will help me to eject. And that day he understood, actually, I am not grateful to the person who packed my parachute, is it not? Similarly, my dear friends, all of you are listening to this, yes, we do great things in life. Sometimes we take great risks in life, and we may be good singers, we may be good dancers, we may be good speakers, we may be good at so many things. But when people glorify us and people congratulate us, "Hey, you did that amazing thing," are we able to remember that person who packed our parachute? Those people in our life whom we can count on. अगर मैं कुछ बड़ी चीज करते करते वहां फिसल गया, if I slip, if I make a mistake, and people will laugh at me, people will throw eggs at me, people will throw their tomatoes at me, hey, look at this fool. That time, is there somebody who will give me an eject button from all that misery so that I can stay alive? Basically, is there somebody in my life who will accept me unconditionally without making a judgment on me? So, usually, people who will give you bouquets of roses are also the people, when you make a mistake, then they'll also give you a garland of chappals. So many film stars and so many cricket stars, when they do great, they get lot of claps and lot of nice, glorification. But one cricket match, if they score a duck zero, then the same person from the same fans get a garland of chappals also. So we should not go behind all this glorification. It is like a cloud, it can go anytime. But we have to be really grateful to people who are there in our life. And because they are there in our life, we know anytime anything goes wrong, at least this one person is there in my life who will never ever judge me and who will never ever pass comments on me. So that is the person who's packing our parachute for our, the fighter pilot inside us. So we have to really remember this. So we discussed the individual effects, the effects of gratitude on an individual person, no envy, no pride, and so on. It also has an effect at the community level. When one person is grateful, then this person, because he's always thanking people around him, he has that attitude of gratitude. What happens is he also ends up creating a legacy of gratitude, in the sense, if I am grateful and I always thank somebody, then that person also understands the language of gratitude. And this person also, there are good chances that this person also will be grateful to people who are there in his life or her life, and so on. Basically, there is a chain of gratitude that is formed. So, look at Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, one person so grateful. There is a Vyas Puja in 1972, and this was celebrated in London. And on that Vyas Puja day, everyone is glorifying Srila Prabhupada for his contribution in their life. And at the end, when Srila Prabhupada starts speaking, he says, "Actually, I'm so grateful to all you young boys and girls, because all of you helped me to carry out the mission of my spiritual master. And I think that you have been sent by my spiritual master to help me. So actually, I am grateful to you for all your help." And then Prabhupada chokes. Basically, Prabhupada cannot speak more than that. This is what Prabhupada is thinking about his disciples on his Vyas Puja day. When everyone is glorifying, and it is all right, it is culturally acceptable to accept all that glorification on your Vyas Puja day. But Prabhupada is thinking, no, no, I am grateful to you for all your support and all your help. And His Holiness Satswarup Maharaj, he is the one who wrote Srila Prabhupada biography. Satswarup Maharaj mentions, actually 1977, November 14th, 7:19 p.m. This is the time when Srila Prabhupada left this world. So after November, what comes? December. And all of us must be aware that every year in December we celebrate the book distribution marathon, is it not? So Satswarup Maharaj mentions that it was November 14, 1977, when Prabhupada left us, and all of us were devastated because all of us were completely dependent on Srila Prabhupada's guidance. And then somehow we were recovering from it. And then we realized in 15 days, the December marathon came. And when December marathon came, all of us were sitting together and we were thinking, we are in so much pain. How will we be able to distribute books? And some said, but Srila Prabhupada wanted book distribution marathon, so what should we do? And then all the leaders, all the sannyasis, they came together and they said, Actually, Srila Prabhupada was so much grateful to all of us for whatever little we did. We should express our gratitude to Srila Prabhupada by not stopping the book distribution marathon even in the year of his disappearance, although we are in pain. So, all the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, because they were overwhelmed by the gratitude feeling of Srila Prabhupada, in 1977 December, actually they were drowning in an ocean of grief. But they somehow survived. And in December 1977, all the disciples of Srila Prabhupada went out to distribute books. And Sasarup Maharaj mentions, because we were doing it out of a feeling of gratitude, we actually crossed our previous records and we did amazing book distribution. So, this is one example of how one person's gratitude set off a legacy of gratitude in the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And I can tell you, every year, it is now 50 years since Srila Prabhupada left. Next year will be 50 years. So, it has been 50 years since Srila Prabhupada has left, but the book distribution marathon has not stopped. What to speak of the direct disciples of Srila Prabhupada, the grand disciples of Srila Prabhupada who never even met Srila Prabhupada. They are so grateful to Srila Prabhupada for what he has given. And today, in the month of December, all over the world, America, Australia, Africa, Europe, India, everywhere, book distribution marathon is going on out of a feeling of gratitude for His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. So, can you imagine this feeling of gratitude, how much it can create wonders in this world? All of us might know there is something called as an iceberg effect. What is iceberg effect? Iceberg is this huge body of ice that is there in the Arctic or the Antarctic regions. Just like, this huge body of ice, it hit the Titanic ship and then the Titanic ship drowned, is it not? So that's an iceberg. So it looks so huge. But the most interesting thing is the way the iceberg is, only 30 to 35% of the iceberg is visible above the water, and 75 to 80% of the iceberg is basically below the water. It is not even seen. So that huge iceberg that you see above the water is only a small part. Big iceberg is below the water. So this is called the iceberg principle. So in general, in our life, in gratitude also there is this iceberg principle. If somebody opens a door for us, then we say thank you so much. If somebody offers us a glass of water, we say, thank you so much. If somebody offers you some medicine when you are sick, you don't have any energy and you get well, then you say, thank you so much, doctor. When some teacher teaches you mathematics, physics, chemistry, it's very visible. So then you say, thank you, teacher, for teaching me mathematics, physics, whatever. Now, as I mentioned, that's only the 25-30% of the benefit that we received from others. What is very difficult to perceive is the help that we received from people which was not tangible. Tangible means they did not give us something that is visible. They did not give us some object. They did not give us some book. They did not give us some medicine. What did they give us? They gave us a perspective in life. They did not give us mm, the spectacles. They gave us the eyes to see the world. I'll explain what it means. What if we are really very morose? What if we have lost all enthusiasm in life and we think अभी मुझे कुछ नहीं करना है, मुझे किसी से बात नहीं करनी है, I have nothing to do with anyone. There are some situations in life when you feel totally deserted and you feel completely abandoned by everyone around you. And that time, if somebody tells you, actually, this is the time to introspect, and actually, this is the time to invest in yourself. Actually, illness is such a blessing because in illness, you have so much time for yourself. In the Gen Z language, the modern generation language, it is me time. Means all the things that you want to do, but you never get time to do. Your hobbies, all the books that you want to read, all the nice things that you want to watch, all the nice people whom you want to call, but you don't get time. Actually, the time of illness is your me time. You can read all the books, nobody will disturb you. So it's actually very nice time. Very few people can give you the right perspective to handle sad times. Very few people can give you the perspective to handle difficult times in life. And that is the iceberg principle of gratitude, that when somebody gives us medicine, we are very happy. But are we happy when somebody gives us the vaccine? What is the difference between vaccine and medicine? Medicine means you fall sick. You don't know what is good for you. You don't know what is bad for you. And after you fall sick, then somebody tells you, "Chal ye kha le, theek ho ja." You become better. What is a vaccine? Vaccine is given by people who say, today or tomorrow, you will fall sick. And before you fall sick, you take this vaccine. And because you take this vaccine, you will never fall sick. So, in one sense, the Bhagavad Gita, the Srimad Bhagavatam, it looks like medicine, but actually it's not medicine, it is vaccine. It was medicine for Arjun. Arjun was attacked by Vishada. Vishada means lamentation. So the first chapter of the Gita is called Arjuna Vishada Yoga. He was hit by the disease of lamentation. But when the disease of lamentation was hit, Krishna gave him the medicine of Bhagavad Gita, and then Nashta Moho Smritir Labdha. He got free of that lamentation. But you and me, do we have to wait for a very crisis situation to come in our life for us to read the Gita? No. We can read Gita. Prabhupada has given us Gita. Our Shiksha Gurus, our Diksha Gurus have given us the Gita. And basically, what was medicine for Arjun is like a vaccine for us. When we read the Gita, we understand how life will be. Hmm? Shitoshna, Sukha Dukkhada. Sometimes there is happiness, sometimes there is stress, but we have to go on. So, it's easy to become grateful for medicine givers because oh मैं टेम्परेचर था मैं तो एग्जॉस्टेड था फिर गोली खाई तो ठीक हो गया but how many of us are grateful for the vaccine givers? Some people in our life, our spiritual master, our teachers in our life, Lord Krishna, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Nityanand Prabhu, anyone who told us in advance how to handle difficult situations in life. Actually, I'm comparing it to a vaccine. So, in general, gratitude is very rare, but within those who can develop gratitude, it's easy to develop gratitude for those who give us medicine, but it's extremely rare for anybody to develop gratitude for those who gave us vaccine. And in today's class, I want to request all of you, please remember those people who packed your parachute but they never got any gratitude from you. Please remember those people who gave you the vaccine even before you fell sick, and please go and thank them. So I'll end with this. What are the different ways in which you can express your gratitude? First is you can, just express your gratitude by words. You can say, I'm really thankful to you. Those people who guided you, three categories: those people who guided you, those people for whom you have respect, you can tell them, thank you for setting such a good example. Thank you for teaching me what to do. Thank you for telling me what are the nice things that I should be grateful for. Second category is for God. So you can thank God. Thank you, God, for giving me this human form of life in which I can do something good and I can come close to you. Other forms of life, I cannot even come close to you. Third category is people who are troubling you. You can be grateful to those people and telling them, thank you so much. Sometimes in the mind, thank you so much for teaching me what not to do. Because of your behavior, so many times I have experienced pain. So I know if I behave like this with somebody else, that person will also be in pain. So you are my teacher to teach me what not to do in life. कैसे नहीं रहना है वो आपने हमको सिखाया. So people who taught you, you can be grateful. God, you can be grateful, and people who are troubling you, you can be grateful even to them, right? So you can always express. So the first way to express gratitude is through your words. Second is sometimes, there are these people in our life, they're so nice and they're so amazing. Sometimes it becomes uncomfortable to stand in front of them and to express our gratitude in words. To such people, we should write a gratitude letter because, letter is very meditative. You take a pen and you take a paper. Don't write an email. You take a pen and a paper and you write there. Thank you so much. And don't just write thank you so much. You mention all the incidents that make you thankful. Hmm? There was a difficult time in my life, and that time you helped me. That time you gave me medicine. That time you gave me vaccine. And this is how I am today. Thank you so much. So write a very nice, sweet letter in your own handwriting. Don't print it on a computer, and send a gratitude letter. There are some people who are sometimes so special that a gratitude letter is also insufficient. So the first way is to speak. Second is to write a gratitude letter. The third is a gratitude visit. Gratitude visit means you take out time from your busy, busy life, which is always going to be busy, and you go and spend quality hours and quality time with that person and thank that person not just by words, not just by letter, but by your personal physical presence and saying सब चीजें एक तरफ, लेकिन आज बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट डे है, तो आज मैंने ये पूरा दिन आपके लिए रखा है. Today is such an important day. I want to give you a gratitude visit. 3, 4, 5, 6 hours just chatting, just spending good time, just remembering some good times and having, just laughter together. So, in this way, gratitude words, gratitude letter, gratitude visit, and the fourth, there is something called as gratitude life. What is gratitude life? Gratitude life means you mold yourself, you start thinking in the way in which the person whom you are grateful to wants you to think. You start talking the language which the person for whom you are grateful wants you to talk. You start behaving, you start leading your life in such a way that the person whom you are grateful to wants you to lead. So, this is like the deepest gratitude, which is much beyond words, which is much beyond written letter, which is much beyond just a gratitude visit. It is a gratitude life. So, if you are really grateful to some saintly person, if you are really grateful to Srila Prabhupada, if you are really grateful to Sri Krishna, then yes, we should express, my dear Krishna, my dear Radha Shyam Sundar, my dear Radha Madhav, my dear Radha Gopinath. Thank you so much. We can also write a letter on Janmashtami to Krishna and he will read it. We can also spend some quality time with Krishna when we are chanting the holy names. But most deepest type of gratitude is actually slowly give up all our bad habits and accept all the things that are favorable to progress in bhakti and become a good Vaishnav, become a good gentleman, and also, if possible, spread the teachings of Lord Krishna, Lord Chaitanya in the line of Srila Prabhupada to anyone and everyone we meet. So, in this way, we discussed about the two examples how this shopkeeper saw this person who's totally ungrateful, and we saw Lord Krishna and Lord Shiva, they're completely grateful. And then we saw these two biggest motivators in life, greed and gratitude, and what is the difference. And then we saw the example of Kamsa and Parikshit, how Kamsa, 19 years in fear, and Parikshit Maharaj, 7 days in gratitude, and then he went back home, back to Godhead. And then we saw how gratitude has some individual effects, and then we saw gratitude also has community effects. Then we saw the iceberg principle in gratitude, and the last thing we saw how to express gratitude. So I'll end here. We have completed roughly 1 hour of speaking. If somebody has any questions, then you can kindly unmute and ask questions. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Such a wonderful session, and you give us so much nectar to learn in just 1 hour. It's really, really very, very beautiful and rare. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So, as this session was about gratitude, so if anybody wants to express their gratitude and start practicing gratitude from today, that would be a great start. And if you have any questions, you can please raise your hands and you can ask a question. So, Prabhuji, by the time everybody is putting their question, I have one question, Prabhuji. So, as you expressed that, Parikshit Maharaj had to face so much injustice, but still he was, grateful. So, my question is that when injustice happens at that time, it's so hard, to come to that point, to that understanding that maybe this is my prarabdha, or that is why I'm suffering, and the people around me just are instruments. So, how are we going to come to the point from where we have started from a feeling of anguish that we have been wronged, and then we come to the point that we are expressing our gratitude, because towards the end you express that if we express gratitude to people, that at least you taught us what not to do in bhakti. So it's amazing, Prabhuji, but how are we going to traverse this path? That's my question. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, so many times, I'll give you an example. If somebody is looking at the things in a shop, it can be counted, right? And if people are taking all those things, then this person will feel, Arey, this shop will become empty very soon. But if this person is aware of a big godown and he knows the godown size is 100 times the size of the shop. So let the shop become empty. That's not a problem because the godown is there. Godown can supply unlimited things to the shop. Based on this example, I'll mention something. Those people who have a very strong connection with God, they will have more chances of being grateful. You know why? Because even if somebody takes away everything from their life, they know, अरे मेरे हाथों से तो सब ले लिया, लेकिन गोडाउन तो है ना. If I'm connected to Krishna, if I'm connected to God, God has 1,000 hands. He can give with his 1,000 hands. How much can we receive? And if we are not connected to God, then it's very natural for us to be always very possessive because we think there are limited things in my life. और इनको सब बचाना पड़ेगा. I'll have to take care that they don't get destroyed. But somebody who's leading a very strong God conscious life, you take whatever you want from his life. He feels this thing has gone from my life, but if I pray to God and God feels it is good for me, God can supply. God is supplying to the whole world. हाथी को मन भर देता है, चींटी को कण भर देता है, वो भगवान सबकी सुधि लेता है. If God is feeding elephants and God is feeding ants, they are not having WhatsApp, they are not having Zomato, they are not having Swiggy, they are not having any of these apps, but everyone gets their food. Only human beings feel we will not get food. So there are two kinds of mindsets. One mindset is abundance mindset. अरे बहुत है भगवान के पास, तुम कितना खाओगे? भगवान देना चाहते हैं तो तुम्हारे दो हाथ कम पड़ जाएंगे. So this mindset is called abundance mindset. In this abundance mindset, even if things go wrong, you know that God has so much good things to give to you. This one or two bad things is not a big problem. And then there is another mindset which is called scarcity mindset. Scarcity means बहुत कम है हमारे पास, आज अरे ये सब खत्म हो जाएगा. So more than what we have is the mindset that we have. So that big richest person whom I mentioned, he's the richest person, but he has a scarcity mindset. So बोल रहा है, I want more. And simple devotees, there's Sridhar Kholvech is there in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. The Sridhar Kholvech was selling banana plants in Nadia, in Mayapur. So if you go to Nadia even today, that whole place is full of banana plants. And 500 years back, definitely there will be more banana plants than today. So in a place which is full of banana plants, the Sridhar Kholvech is selling banana leaves. What is the profit there? And all the money that he was earning, 50% of his money he was using every day to worship Mother Ganga. Because he was so grateful to the Lord and he was so grateful to Ganga. He said, I'm earning less, but 50% of my earnings should go to worship Ganga Devi. So he is Sridhar Kholvech. The roof of his home had holes. Hmm? And the only possession that he had was an iron lota, lohe ka lota, iron pot. So iron pot was his only possession, and the roof is leaking. And this person is spending 50% of his money in worshipping Ganga. I can see abundance mindset. Hare Krishna is there, God is there. And I can see a scarcity mindset in the mind of the richest person. So when things go wrong, the answer to your question, when things go wrong, if you have a scarcity mindset, then you think, पहले ही मेरे पास कम चीजें थी, already I had less things, and now in this difficult time, everything is being snatched away, so I'm a loser. But somebody who even has less, he knows the go down is always full. If the go down is full and the shop has a good connection with the go down, things will keep flowing. Don't worry. You don't have to worry about it. So even if things go wrong, if our focus is not on the shop, our focus is on the go down, then we are able to go through tough times. Not just go through tough times, but actually we are thankful. You know why? Because in tough times, it's very natural to remember God. In tough times, it is actually very natural to be humble. In tough times, it's very natural to take shelter of sadhus. Actually, if we are doing materially very nice, everything is nice, it's very difficult to develop taste for the holy name. It's very difficult to really be humble and submissive and receive guidance from the saintly people. So in one sense, if you have the right perspective, then when difficult times come, Krishna will supply from the go down, and this is a good time to take guidance. So Parikshit, I believe, had that abundance mindset, and so even if he was cursed to die in 7 days, Aho Vayam Dhanyatama Nripanam. I am Dhanyatama, I am the most fortunate king. And he actually became the most fortunate because in that consciousness, he went in front of Shukdev Goswami. Shukdev Goswami started speaking the Bhagavatam, and he did not take a single drop of water in 7 days. So if you look at it, he became exhausted, and because he did not get water, he put that dead snake around Shamik Rishi. But when he's listening to the Bhagavatam from Shukdev Goswami, 7 days and 7 nights, he did not take a drop of water, and then he went back to the spiritual world. So actually, he's actually Dhanyatama. Actually, he's the most fortunate. So I think it's more about the mindset. It's more about remembering the connection of the shop to the go down. That's very important. And modern culture is basically disconnecting people from the go down. And Srila Prabhupada is requesting us never ever forget the go down. That's what will help us go through the difficult times, I feel. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Babaji. It's a wonderful reply, and I can connect it with the point that you earlier said that when we are in illness, it's the best time to self-introspect. So I'll connect it with that, and I'm really, really grateful to you that giving me that insight and really helpful. Thank you. And Mihika have a raised hand, so I think she can ask her question. Mataji, can you please unmute yourself and ask your question? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you very much for such a awesome class on gratitude and how we should actually be um thankful to whatever we get and have a mindset that is satisfied. So Prabhuji, I have a question. Like, we'll say thank you. Like, let's say someone does something to well, for us, and then we're like, okay, thank you for it. But then we still find mistakes in the other person. So is that actually like correct? Like we're saying thank you to the other person, but then we're like, you could have done this better, and then we start pointing mistakes. And then how can we also fix that?
Yeah. So, first, most important thing is to be thankful. I think that itself is an achievement. So, we are thankful to every single person. Never ever be ungrateful to anybody. So, I think you have done the most important thing, that at least you have realized the importance of being thankful. The second part is that we keep noticing faults, right? For that, step back a little bit, and think about it. When I am noticing faults in this person, does it mean that I'm superior to this person just because I'm able to see faults in that person? There are some faults in my eyelids, but I'm never able to see faults in my eyelids because whenever I want to see something, I open my eyes and my eyelids are gone. I can't see my eyelids. So it's quite possible that there are a lot of faults in me, and just because people around me are very gracious and people around me are not pointing out those faults does not mean that I'm superior to this person. Second point. Third point is, when you see faults in somebody, it's all right if you can help the person overcome those faults. When somebody goes to a doctor and the doctor says, I think your blood pressure has increased, The doctor does not stop there. The doctor says, I'll give you this pill which will reduce your blood pressure and bring your health to normal. So, as long as we are able to notice faults in people with the intention of helping them overcome those faults, I can tell somebody, you know what, Prabhu, I think you get angry very quickly. But when I say that, I should also be able to help that person overcome anger. Otherwise, I have just made life more miserable for him. But he was not aware that he's a very super angry person. And I told him, Prabhu, I think you become angry very quickly. So now I have put him in a situation where he's thinking, oh, really? I am a very angry person. I should not be angry. But, you know, just mentioning somebody that your blood pressure is high, how is it helping that person? In fact, by telling a person with hypertension that your blood pressure is high, I think we will increase the blood pressure more, because he was not aware that he has high blood pressure. Now you told him he has high blood pressure. Now his high blood pressure will become more higher. So, third point is we should only find out faults in people if we are able to help them overcome it. If we are not able to help people overcome the faults, why should we tell faults in people? Just to make them more depressed? Just to point out to them that they're inferior to us in some way? I think because we are not able to help that person overcome it, it may not be a good sign of conveying to a person. So I honestly feel, you know, first good point about you is that you have realized the need to say thank you. Second point I mentioned that uh, yes, does not mean that we are superior to that person. We may also have faults which have not been told to us. And third thing is we should always introspect and ask, I'm all right with pointing out faults of this person and mentioning it to him or her, but do I have the necessary knowledge to help that person overcome that fault? If not, better to step back and not make that person's life miserable. Already there are some faults, but by pointing them out, I'm making life more difficult for that person. I think this is my answer. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Roji, for the elaborated answer. Roji, I have another question. Can I ask?
Yes.
So, Roji, it's like when someone else does bad to us, and then we're like, we want to take revenge from the person. So when we have that like burning fire inside of us that like we need that revenge from the other person, we forget gratitude, we forget like everything else. We're just like, I need to get rid of this person anyway, anyhow. So, Broji, how can we control on that like anger and all those emotions all together and just calm ourselves and go towards the gratitude part of it?
Very important question, because this is the nature of real life. Real life is, if somebody does something wrong to you, you don't feel anger, you get consumed by anger. Anger just consumes you. So very nice question. When Dhruv was insulted by his stepmother, it is mentioned Dhruv felt so bad, because one thing is his stepmother insulted him. Second is his father kept quiet. He did not speak a single word. So it is mentioned Dhruv was so angry, Dhruv was hissing like a snake. And in that, he got consumed by anger. He got consumed by that revenge mood. But one good thing about Dhruv is he said, let me consult my mother. And he goes to his mother. And if you read the Bhagavatam, the first thing his mother tells him is, do not become envious of those people who are envious of you. My dear son Dhruv, do not think ill about those who have done wrong things to you. This is the first thing that Suniti speaks to Dhruv, because she can understand it. When somebody is insulted, the first thing is, what harm can I do to this person? And Suniti says, first thing, very clear, don't do that. And then, he's also very grateful to his mother. He's thinking, okay, so what should I do now? I want a place. Okay, I won't harm my stepmother, but I want a place where to sit. He says, actually, that place can be given to you by God. Okay, where is the address of God? Where does he stay? Well, I have seen that people, when they want to know God, they go to the forest. So probably that is the place where he stays. So you can also go to the forest. And then he goes to the forest, right? So Coming back to your question, when we feel tremendous anger for somebody who has done wrong things to us, what to do in that situation? My answer to that is, do not try to fight against anger at that moment of time, because you are burning and it's natural that you're burning. Go to somebody in whom you have trust, that that person is your well-wisher, and put forward that question to him or her and say, this person behaved so wrongly with me, and I am really being consumed by anger, and I am getting all these revengeful thoughts. What is your advice to me? And because you have trust in that person, if that person is a very saintly person, then that person is going to say, well, that person threw a stone at you and probably hurt your one eye, and then you will throw two stones at that person, and probably that person will hurt his or her two eyes. So what's the benefit? You lost one eye, that person lost two eyes, and the world lost two people with good vision. But what is the benefit of hurting each other? So instead of hurting each other, let's go to a doctor who can heal this eye that was hurt by that person. It makes sense. You throw stones at me, I throw stones at you, we are hurting each other. More important than hurting each other is to get well from the hurt that is caused by people around us, right? So in this example I mentioned, getting your eyes cured. So I feel, you know, instead of fighting with these natural emotions that overpower us and overcome us, I think it is in our interest that we just go to somebody, who's saintly and in whom we have trust, and honestly admit our weaknesses in front of that person. We don't lie, we don't pretend to be very holy, and we just present, what should I do? And if that person tells you, well, I think it's in your interest that you don't fight back, it's in your interest that you utilize this opportunity to become better. And I think, because if that person is sincere and if that person is really trying to help you, it sinks in that instead of wasting my time hurting others in retaliation, I think I should invest to become a better person myself and to heal the wounds that I have received in due course of time. See, when we are carrying a burning charcoal in our hands to throw at somebody, before it hurts that person, one thing is for sure, it will burn our own hands. So I think we should not burn our hands trying to be revengeful, and let people do what they want to do. We can't stop them, but we don't have time for hurting others, because there's so much to do to benefit ourselves, and if possible, live a life of gratitude. So to mold our thoughts, to mold our words, to mold our actions, and do something grateful for Lord Krishna and his representative. So time is very less. We have very limited time. 2026. We're already into March. Very soon Janmashtami will come. Very soon December marathon will come and 2026 will go. We don't have enough time to improve ourselves. Better to be careful and take guidance from somebody sincere. Because when we are too happy or we are too distressed, the intelligence is not working properly. So in these times, I think we should contact somebody who has stable intelligence, stable mind, and take guidance and do the needful. Otherwise, with this disturbed mind and disturbed intelligence, we can take a disturbed decision that can disturb our whole life. Better not to do that. So I'll stop here. Any other questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I think Himu Prabhuji or I think Mataji, I'm not sure, have raised hand. Can you ask your question, please? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam. A beautiful lecture. My question is, you said when people hurt you, you should be thankful to them. But if they repeatedly, you're put in that situation, and it's been repeated for years and years and years, what can you do about it? I've also heard that you have to stay away from the people who hurt you repeatedly. So if that is the case, what does one do?
Thank you for asking this very important question. In English, there are two words, forgive and forget. My advice is in such situations when repeatedly somebody is hurting you, forgive that person, but don't forget that person. You know why? Because first time that person misbehaved with you, you forgave, but that person will again repeat that to you if you forget it. So I forgave and I forgot. Then I'm behaving with the same that person who did trouble to me in the same sweet way. Then he's thinking, oh, this person is such a fool. Last time I misbehaved this with this person and this person is still forgetting everything and behaving with me very nicely. Now I'll again spoil this person's life. Then again I'm doing forgive and forget. Then again this person will keep on repeating. So my advice is forgiving is a choice, but don't forget, don't give that person another chance to abuse you again, to trouble you again. Stay away from that person. Of course, why? Because the spirit soul is meant to be offered to Krishna. The spirit soul is not meant to be offered on the, you know, the mat, the doormat on which people rub their feet. Yes. So sometimes some people want to place us on the doormat at their homes and they want to always wipe their feet on the doormat. So we have to look at the spirit soul and say, Krishna is saying, Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana, that the living entity is my part and parcel. So this living entity is a very precious substance and the living entity needs to be offered at the lotus feet of Krishna. The living entity need not be offered at the thorny feet of the person who's abusing us. That person does not deserve us at his foot mat. So that's why stay away from people who are repeatedly abusive, who are repeatedly insulting, who are repeatedly troublesome, and save yourself, take care of yourself so that you can offer a very grateful and a very nice heart at the lotus feet of Krishna. As far as my advice, where I mentioned, express your gratitude to the person who does wrong things to you by speaking that, thank you for teaching me what not to do. You can speak that once, but if you speak that more than once, you will be treated like a fool number one. So you may speak it in your heart, but don't speak it, thank you for being such a nice teacher, for teaching me what not to do, because that makes you appear to be a foolish person who is allowing himself or herself to be ready for abuse every now and then. We don't need to undergo abuse by anybody. We are meant to be offered to Krishna. We are meant to be offered to Radharani. We are meant to be offered to work and serve in the Guru's mission. So, why to waste a good soul, a valuable soul, satisfying a cruel hearted person? No, we don't need to do that. So, stay away and speak only once. Thank you for teaching me what not to do. All other times, you speak it in the heart. Maintain safe distance from such people. These people make life miserable for everyone, but we owe a lot to Krishna and Guru. So we need to offer them a very beautiful rose. We can't offer them a rose, all the petals have been plucked by somebody else only, and only that small inner part is that we can't offer to Krishna. We need to offer the full rose. So the rose has to be beautiful, and a beautiful rose's beauty has to be maintained by staying away from people who crush roses under their feet. So stay away. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. That includes family and friends.
Sometimes, we may be in a relationship with very close family members and it may not be possible to stay away, but at least we should try to stay emotionally away if physically away is not possible. Brother, sister, husband, wife, sometimes you realize that it's very difficult, but at least we have to cut off our emotional ties with such people, because emotional binding is very dangerous with such people, with such abusive people. Even if somebody, beats me physically, it's very, very troublesome. But when somebody is insulting me emotionally every day, that is much more troublesome. I'm not saying physical abuse is all right. I'm saying physical abuse can be tolerated to some extent, but emotional abuse is something that is very, very difficult to tolerate. So, if we are in a relationship with somebody very close and it's very difficult to run away, at least internally we have to cut off our emotional bonding with such people if there is no choice. Ideally, we should be physically away from such people, but if it's not possible, then emotionally at least we have to cut ourselves.
Yes, Prabhuji. I do understand one thing in my life, that Krishna is guiding me to stay away from the wrong people. And sometimes I understand that. A lot of times I understand that. But it's very hard to, like, if there is a occasion that, like you said, you have to go to, I would like to not go. I would prefer that. But then the other side of me is saying, you should go for your duty. But then I know I don't expect this abuse to happen, but it just happens. So that is the situation I'm talking about. So I do want to stay away. And it gets harder and harder. But I know Krishna is guiding me. I know He's with me. And I know He's trying to keep me away from the bad people. But then I have this other thought that I have to go for my duty. But then I don't want to. So what do I do?
Yeah, duty is something that we need to undergo, but not at the cost of abuse. Duty can be undergone in times of hardship. Hardship means, the weather is very hot, the weather is very cold, financially, I am in a very difficult situation. So these are called hardships. Hardships means difficult times that are not caused by some person. But when you see somebody who's visibly, very clearly trying to create trouble in your life, it's not hardship, it's abuse. It's
Okay.
it's being done intentionally. When the weather changes, it's not just for one person. The weather becomes hot for everyone. When the weather changes, it's snowing, it's very, very cold. It's cold for the entire city, not just for one person. When it's raining, cats and dogs, it's really very difficult. It's difficult for everyone, not just for one person. But when abuse happens, abuse is not hardship. Abuse is abuse. Abuse is targeted. Abuse is planned. Abuse is methodically carried out. Hardships are
Mhm.
not, yeah, hardships are not targeted. Hardships are not methodically carried out. So we can tolerate hardships and go ahead with our duties, but I'm not really in favor of tolerating abuse in the name of duty. Abuse needs to be stopped, especially if it is done to a single person, if it is being methodically carried out, if it is being done repeatedly just to demoralize somebody. I don't think that's a good situation. We need to stop.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. I'm understanding now. I've started that trip, that journey, and I don't like to drink and all that. So a lot of people that they want to do all this partying, but I'm staying away because I'm not enjoying it. And I know Krishna is helping me all the way. And thank you, Prabhuji, for just instilling this thought more positively. And I am more firmly knowing what to do, which I was confused with before. I appreciate it. Danvat Prabram Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji, for such a wonderful, heartfelt question. Thank you. We all pray for you. And thank you so much, Prabhuji. It was such a wonderful interactive session. And we got so much to learn, Prabhuji, especially I would like to meditate on the point where you talked about, medicine versus vaccination. And it most of the time it so happens that we just ignore people who give us vaccination because we don't like people correcting us because we have that false ego in us. So yeah, that's I will try to implement that, and please pray for me that I'm able to and meditate on that. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, and we are so grateful to you, and we hope and we pray to Radha Shyam Sundar for your great health and great endeavors for you and your continued association with us, Prabhuji. It will be very helpful for all of us. Thank you so much, and we all can express our gratitude by just saying Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Payevacha पतिता नाम पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Prabhuji.
you. I'm grateful to all of you for giving me this opportunity. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. That